What's going on, y'all? I don't know why I came up with my whole office on the screen. I just wanted this little part up here. See me up here in the corner? Welcome to 7 in 7. This is Daniel West for Picket Studios. Happy to be here this evening with some new goodies for March. What are we going to play with tonight? Picket Studios has so many goodies every month. It just feels like I could never, even if I only designed for picket fence, I would be busy all the time, constantly playing with all the amazing stuff that picket fence puts out every month. Just a lot. It's a lot. It's good. I love to swim in goodies. I can get rid of this. You guys don't need to see my keyboard. Happy to show you what we're going to work with tonight, and let me know where you're tuning in from. And your comments are important in our evening tonight, because comments will be entries into a giveaway that will take place in the near future at the end of 7 and 7. We're actually going to do two projects tonight. Two projects. Let me focus in on these guys. Isn't that fun? Two projects. And the way we're going to be able to do two projects is because I've done a lot of prep beforehand. So I've worked a couple hours already on this for you guys. Not only designing the cards, but redesigning them or recreating them. So that's a lot of fun. And we'll be able to get two of them in one sitting, right? So I see all of y'all are coming in here with where you're from. I see Nova Scotia, just right up the coast from us. A little bit north of here. I see someone from Philadelphia, just down the coast. Bella Vista, Arkansas. Welcome all the way from Michigan, California, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia. Welcome, everybody. We are all happy you're here. In the comments, I have Karen. Karen is here. Say hello, Karen. Let's give Karen a round of applause. From Georgia. And if I'm not mistaken, she can answer lots of questions for you. So if I don't get to see your comment and I don't address it, she will take care of business. She will. Okay. Now, Karen will also be able to give you links, I believe, to all of these items for Picket Fence. So, and she'll probably correct the names that I put out. I hope I get the names correct on some of these items. All right. So first up, let's do this full front shaker card. Well, I think I need to do this one. I'm going to start with this one, and then we'll do this one, and we'll come back to this one. How about that? Because we want to put out get the stenciling done real quick. So we're going to get this Rose's stencil here. It's a lined stencil. You've got lots of details on it, and you can see that I've used mine a lot already. So let's grab a card front, and we can smear on some of this fantastic paper glaze. This is actually letter C from Santa's Favorite Colors. It's a red color, really great red color. Look how beautiful that red is, right? When it dries back, it's just beautiful. So let's do this first, and then we'll get into our full front shaker card. All right, we'll just apply this first and set it aside, since we'll need some time with it, right? I'm saying that, but I've already got a panel made. I'm just saying, I'm pretending like this is the one we're going to be using, but all right, so I'm just going to put that right there on the front of my card front. This is the Rose Line stencil. Thank you very much. And I'm going to get a spatula out here. Now, on the ready, I'm going to have a rag. Now, this looks dirty, but it's not. It's just stained. So I just keep it here on the side. And when I'm finished smearing on my paper glaze, then I can immediately get to work on cleaning this. Now this has been treated with some Pixie spray, which is a light tack adhesive, but I don't know how tacky it is right now, so hopefully it'll still be working. Alright, now I'm just going to smear that on like this and get a nice even application, which is so fun because this is just like using butter. Maybe not butter, it's more like mayonnaise almost. It's just a great consistency. It's not like butter, is it? It's more like mayonnaise. Alright, so then once I've got that on there, I'm just going to take my knife and pick up the excess, put it back in my jar. I need to alert the media. I'm almost out of Santa's favorite colors here. The red one anyway, letter C. I may have to get me some more of that because it's a great color. Alright, now I'm not going to be able to get any more up off of my stencil. And yes, it's a very bright red color. And then I'm just going to peel that straight up, and look how beautiful the lines are on there. Isn't that just gorgeous? The mixed media spatulas are available also from Picket Fence. So I just put this back here on a cardboard box flap that I have. That's one of the great things about not being super organized. You have lots of space to just put your stencil work and messy stuff. Alright, so I'm just going to spray that with water. Spray my stencil down like this. Spray my spatula. And this is a quick way of cleaning up, right? My spatula is nice and wet with water. Just cleans right up with water. And then I'm going to take my rag, cover my stencil like that, pick it up, flip it over, and since it's all wet everywhere, I'm just going to take my rag and wipe it down. I don't fuss about getting it exactly clean, like perfectly clean, but maybe you are a stickler. If you are, just be gentle as you clean it off. And if you wet it, it'll get cleaner a little easier. Maybe you want to wet your rag a little bit as well. And this is how I clean mine off. I don't want any like pieces of it sticking up, but if it's, you know, got a little residue of it, I don't care. That's not a big deal. All right, it looks like about as clean as I need it to be. And it's rather dry now, so I can just put it aside. Wipe down my space. And now we can move on to our full front shaker card. Now that we've got that out of the way, I have a panel, A2 sized panel here already cut down. I have one Picket Fence life-changing blender brush, and I have 3 inks from Catherine Pooler that I'm going to use. I have lemongrass. I thought I grabbed limoncello. This is supposed to be limoncello. Let me get that out. I want to get the right yellow. Chiffon is good too. Okay, so chiffon, Bellini, and garden party, but not in that order. Let's start with Bellini, and then we'll go to chiffon, and then we'll go to garden party. All right. So I'm just going to start by pressing my pad down onto my glass mat. Okay. And I'm going to start here in the corner, off of the paper, like this. Kind of blend down. Come back and pick up the leftover ink and blend down like that. Not too far, because I want some yellow to show too, right? I want the yellow to blend into the peach Bellini color there, but I also want some yellow to actually show. So now once I've done that, I'm going to get a clean rag, and this is a clean one that doesn't look clean, but it's like I said, it's been washed. And I'm just going to run my brush over that to get any of the orange out as much as I can. And then clean up my ink on my workspace, because I don't want the orange getting in the yellow. I want the yellow to really shine through. That is not picking, not drying. There we go. I don't want my desk to be moist. One of the things I don't like is going to eat at a restaurant and they just wipe the table down, they sit you down, and the table's still wet. It's one of my pet peeves. Same with crafting. I don't want to craft on a wet surface either. Alright, so this is chiffon ink. It's a beautiful yellow. Also from Catherine Pooler. So I'm just going to brush that on over this, the middle section here. And I'm probably going to need a lot more of this because it's a light, very light yellow. Oops. A very light yellow. But it's pretty. What a nice yellow. And I'm going to go over the Bellini here a little bit. Like this. This is my way of doing things. You may have your preferred way, but this is mine. Alright, so I'm not going to hit this part up here, but I'm going to go as high as I can. I want a gradient from the Bellini here, straight Bellini, some chiffon and Bellini, then just chiffon. Then I'm going to do Garden Party down here, right? But I'm going to keep this going. Keep it going a little bit, as much as I can. Get all the ink that I put down. Yes, these inks are a dream to work with, especially when you've got a nice blender brush to work with. I just want to brighten up the center. There we go. Now I'm getting there. And then come down here, brush it on. There we go. Now I'm going to take my Garden Party. And since it's kind of right next to chiffon, and chiffon's a very light color, I'm not worrying about cleaning out my brush or cleaning my workspace. I'm just going to come in and add this Garden Party here on the corner. Get it nice and green. And then add it going up. But not too far, right? And then kind of knock it out. We're almost there. I may want to add a little bit more chiffon in there. A little more cowbell. Now for the yellow, I don't want to add any Garden Party to it, so I'm going to pick that up. put my chiffon down again a little more. And just blend over this garden party a bit. Darken things up. Or brighten them up. There we go. Ooh, I like that. Isn't that pretty? Reminds me of a melon or just real summer, springy kind of stuff. Super cool. I'm loving it. All right. One of the great things about Catherine Pooler inks is they're water reactive. So let's get some water going here. I'm just spritzing it with my Tim Holtz sprayer. Excuse me. And then picking that up just a bit. All right. Excuse me. All right, it's going to be a nice effect there. Excuse me. Swallowed wrong. All right, now as that dries back, you're going to see that a little more and more. A little more. Now, I've already taken the liberty of die cutting this tree out, and I want to just give you some pointers. It's very important pointers on die cutting this tree. Look how intricate this die is. Super detailed, right? Lots of little ways and places for the paper not to cut. Exactly right. So you're going to need to use maybe an extra shim in there if your die cutter isn't very powerful. Mine is pretty powerful, but I still had to cut it, like, you know, run it through 4 times, because this is 1 time and this is 4 times. And let me just show you the difference. I'm going to turn autofocus on here real quick. Hopefully that works. Did autofocus turn on? I don't think it did. Maybe autofocus is not going to work for me tonight because I was having problems with it and I turned it off. So when I only did it 1 time, I only did 1 pass through my Spellbinders machine. I had a little bit of trouble and I had to lose some of my branches. You would never know that if I just put it right in my project like that. But I can tell, and I can see some of the little frayed edges, like right here. There's some frayed edges here. But when I ran it through a couple times, I passed it once and then immediately backtracked and did it a couple times. Man, when I pulled this out, it was like magic. It just comes right out. So that's one of the tips I wanted to give you when you die cut this guy. All right. Then look how pretty that is right there. The A2 size of this tree. It's just fantastic. What a great tree. Great little image. Well, all of these things are from Picket Fence Studios, Trudes. All right. Picket Fence. All right. Now, on my card, this is a very simple thing to put together, right? On my card, what I did was stamped and die cut this sentiment from the Swanky Sayings. Swanky Sayings, is that what it is? Karen will help me. The Swanky Sentiments, something like that. And in the course of the month, because it's been a month since I created this project, I don't know how I did it, but I made it disappear. The whole stamp set, except for I kept on my desk the stamp and the die for the sentiment, right? For one of the sentiments. So I've got one of the sentiments out, and I spent probably an hour looking for the stamp set, and I can't find it in any of my Picket Fence stuff. So I'm just going to use the same sentiment on both cards. And you guys don't tell anybody, okay? Don't tell anyone, especially not Karen Don't tell Karen, Swanky friendship. Don't tell Karen and don't tell Nicole that I'm just using the same sentiment, right? So what I did was stamped it out on a die cut, and I'll show you how I did that real quick. Best way to get a nice straight sentiment or a die cut is to do this. Let's see. I have it right here. So I've shown my audience this a lot. I learned it from lots of places I've seen it, but I just stamp out my sentiment, take a die, run it through the die cutting machine, and create a little mask for my sentiment like this, and then center that in my MISTI just like that and tape that down. And once I tape that down, I've got a little template for my die cutting, right? So whenever I pop in, all I have to do is die cut that as many times as I want. That sentiment has coordinating dies. That sentiment set does. See that? And I can just pop this in like that. Because I already know exactly where that stamp is going to land, I can grab my Picket Fence hybrid ink, ink up my stamp, lay it down like that, and I have a perfectly stamped sentiment. It's centered and everything on my die. Isn't that cool? And you can make several of these and just have them ready. You just pop them in the back of your storage pocket and have them ready, right? You're welcome. You're absolutely welcome. Thanks, Dee. Thanks for not telling on me. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I've created already a pocket for our full front shaker card, right? I die cut it out of some acetate that I had using the full front shaker die that's available at Picket Fence Studios. Here it is. This die, and I just ran it through my machine. I trimmed off the edges myself over here because my machine's not big enough, but if your machine's bigger, it'll work fine. And if it's not bigger than the Spellbinders Platinum 6, my Spellbinders takes it easily too. So what you're going to do first is take your tree and add some foam tape to the back of it. Now, Picket Fence has a new roll of foam tape, but it's a monster size, so I use that for the other card here in a minute. For the smaller pieces of foam tape that I need for the tree, I'm just going to tear off a piece of my foam tape here from 3M and trim it down into little strips like this, 3 little strips. I don't need to back the entire tree, just some of it. So I'm going to take this and put it right here like that. And then one going up this branch. Like that. And then one right here. And then I can put another one up here. And another one here. And then if some of the branches aren't popped up, it's not a problem. Because we want the sequins we're going to put in here and the little bits to flow freely. So you don't want to back them off completely or block them off completely. So I'm just going to pop that here on the front. And then I'm going to take my sentiment and I'm going to adhere that with some glue. Let's see, Where is my Barely Art glue? Of course, I always have to misplace at least one thing for every show. There we go. Now, I don't want to put my glue on the back of my strip. I want to put it on the front of my tree because I don't want any loose glue trying to grab a hold of the shaker bits that I'm going to put in here, right? So all I need is enough glue just to tack it down and hold it in place, just like that. I'm going to put that right about a third of the way up the card. Sorry I had that off camera for so long. Hey, Xiomara. Now I can take my shaker, full front shaker acetate and add some tape, some score tape to the back of it. Obviously, I brought it all out here and then forgot where I put it. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that your acetate it's not too tight along the card panel, but also that there's not a lot of room for bits to come down and get behind your acetate. So you want to put your score tape all along the edges of your shaker. And I'm only going to peel the backing off of 3 of these and leave the top open, right? Like this. Here's the top. This is the top. So let's peel these off. Like this. And then let that hang just a little bit loose when you pull it over. You don't want it too tight. You don't want it too loose. Just try to get it a nice happy medium. Like that. And you can crease it if you like. Like that. So there I have a nice little pocket formed. I may want to pull that up just a little bit on this side. There we go. Okay. Then I'm going to take my shaker bits. This is Peter Cottontail, I believe. Shaker bits or sequin mix. And then I'm just going to pour not a stingy amount, but not too generous, because these are a limited supply. I love the colors of that. And then I'm going to take the backing off this last one. I'm going to pull those together like this. Just like that. And then I can snip off any of the excess, like right there. Some little pieces that were just sticking up. Like that. Then I have a full front shaker panel. And all I have to do now is pop it on the front of a card base that I already have. Because I'm a smart card maker, I make those all in advance and I keep them ready. Ready. Okay, so I'm just gonna line my card base with double-sided adhesive. this. I'm going to put one in the middle and then one down here. Like that. And one here. Like that. Oops. Xiomara, I'm so glad you made it too, my friend. Okay. And now I can just take this and make sure I put it on the right way. I'm just going to pop that on right there. Right there. So I've got a full front shaker card. Isn't that cool? Eee, lovely. And it wasn't hard at all. Did you find that hard, guys? Linda, this acetate is, it's called, this is what it is. I use graphics acetate. Is that what it is? Graphics, yeah. But you can use anything. You can just use packaging from a stamp set. Any kind of acetate would work with that. It's not a problem. All right, let's look at our card base, or our panel that we made earlier. This is not the one that I made just now. The one I made just now probably needs a little, it feels a little cool to the touch, but it's not wet or tacky or anything. But I can feel like it. I feel like it's not ready to cut or be used yet, you know? But it still would be perfect. I think it'd be fine to touch or play with. You can't really ruin it now. Not really. So let's get our trimmer. Our paper trimmer. And I'm gonna trim this down 1/4 inch. I had a little space here that I messed up, so that was my fault. I'm just gonna take that side off, then this side off. Just try to get as much of that off as possible. And that did it, you know. Thank you very much. I'm glad you liked that card. Thank you, thank you. Now, there's a great Hello die in this set, but it's slimline. See how long it is? You could put that on a slimline card, but I'm gonna put it on my A2 card. So I've already die cut it out because I was a Boy Scout when I was a kid, and I'm prepared. Plus, I don't want Karen mad at me for spending 2 hours die cutting things instead of playing, you know? I'm just kidding. She wouldn't be mad at me. She doesn't want to be on here for 3 hours, I'm sure, watching me fiddle with die cuts. And you guys don't either, probably. So I did it all in advance. So I've got two. I'm going to stack them together just for a little bit of dimension, right? And I'm going to put them together with some liquid adhesive. So let's get that together. One of them had a little bit of a crease in them. This one right here. So I'm going to put that one on the bottom. I'm going to be stingy with my glue. I don't want a whole bottle of glue on my die. Right, Karen? Plan ahead of time, Daniel. Be ready. Be prepared. I'm sure the audience appreciates it as well. Let's see. Okay. So now all I need to do is stamp that's a sentiment on here because, you know, we want a sentiment on our little strip here. And I'm gonna pop that in right there at the bottom. And then I'm gonna center this on my strip like this. Okay. There we go. Take my black ink. And just lay that down. Beautiful. My ink pad's a little juicy because I just re-inked it, so. You bring a smile to my face. You're welcome, Carol. That's funny. I'm in the middle of the rose. I'm a little rose. This is the card. That's funny. All right, so I'm just going to take this. It looks like that's a little juicy there because I had recently re-inked my pad. So let me just dry that back a little bit. There we go. I don't want to stick my finger in that and then mess it up. I'm going to back this with some foam tape. Let's see, do I need to trim it down? I probably should. Before I put that on the front of that, I'm going to pop this on the front of a card base using some of this extra wide foam tape from Picket fence. So let's get some of that out here. I'm just going to trim it down. It'll take me a second to do this. Let's do. Boom. Cut one more little strip of this. And put that right there. There we go. Now, if that had been a full A2 size little panel there, I wouldn't have had to trim down the wide foam. But I like how solid the backing of this foam, what great backing it provides to my popped up panels. You know what? My sweet wife didn't make corned beef today. I think she forgot it was St. Patrick's Day. Isn't it today St. Patty's Day? I am wearing green, by the way. But usually we have oven baked corned beef and stuff, you know. I think I need to back my letters a little bit. I forgot about that. So let's do that. put one on my O here. You don't have to do all of them, especially if you already backed the, if you did like a double layer of the sentiment, because they're awful sturdy, you know. There's Karen popping in the links for y'all. So good. Right on the ball. All right, I'm going to pop that up right about there. Make sure it's even. And then I can take my scissors and just snip that. Like that. And went flying across the room. Look at that card. We are not finished yet, folks. I've got my favorite PFS Sequin mix is the Iridescent Moonshine. And mine is different than yours because I had to write the name of it on there. Yours will come beautifully printed and everything. So I'm just going to grab some of these out of here. And we're almost done. Can you believe that? 2 cards in 45 minutes. So let me start by putting one down here. That's nice. Way too much glue. One up here. One down here. One up here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll put one there. So we'll put the smaller ones out on the end. 3 of the larger ones kind of in the middle. That's a smaller one. I like to tuck them in under the die cut. And then one more big one right here. Kind of between the E and the L. There we have some shine. We have shine on our popped up panel, and we have shine in our sequins. Look at that, guys. What do you think? There we go. We have 2 cards. It's a 2-for night. Yeah, it's a great little jewel picker, it's called, by Marvy. All right. What do you think? Which one is your favorite? Do you like the red one, or do you like the shaker one? Which is your favorite? You tell me in the comments. Hey, Sammy. Hello. Which one did you like the best? Thank you, guys. I'm glad you like them. Missy likes the tree the best. Trudy, for my sequence from Catherine Pooler, and I'm sorry, from Picket Fence Studios, I keep them all together in a little tray like this. These trays are available from Picket Fence Studios as well, and I have about 6 or 7 of those trays full of those sequins now. Just full of them. And then I like to keep my sequins in original packaging if I can, but sometimes, like these, I have so many of them that it's great to have them have their own section. But for other sequins, I put them in a different little container and store them so that I keep my sanity. Thank you very much. Trudy likes the tree the best. Luisana says, hi, Daniel, watching while you cook. Oh my, don't put too much salt in things. Full shaker. Okay, you guys like the tree the best, huh? Oh, Dawn says the red one. You like them both. Well, I'm glad you like them both. Super fun, super fun. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for joining me tonight, and I hope you'll get a chance to visit Picket Fence Studios and grab some of your favorite goodies from this release and visit and see all the other good things that are available on the shop. So have a wonderful evening. Take care, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. And thanks, Karen, for being in the comments. You're just wonderful. All right. Take care.